It wasn't all the time. I wouldn't say that I came from an abusive family per se, but there definitely was times of abuse in my family. The family member I have that's the attorney walked in one day after me and one of my parents had an argument about me getting a license when I was 16 years old. That parent flipped out. They had a lot of anger issues, and they put me in a chokehold, man. And the family member that's the attorney walked in, got him off me, told him to get out, made sure I was okay and all that. I actually thought, for once, I felt like maybe this person just saw what's going on and they give a crap and they're gonna care about me, but they didn't. They turned around, they flipped it all over on me, and it was all my fault. I mean, you walked in on a kid getting strangled, dude,
in a quarter mile,
by a
slide
grown
right
ass
after
adult.
the Kettle Diner toward Johnson Boulevard.
Sorry about Siri, I'm driving somewhere. And you're a lawyer. I mean, I would call your job into question, doing stuff like that. You didn't do nothing to help me. You didn't tell anybody anything, nothing, man. You just, it was all my fault.
Make a slight right after the Kettle Diner toward Johnson Boulevard.
There's been multiple times like that. When I was a kid, I got sent to Catholic school. I hated Catholic school, man. This was the old school Catholic school where the nuns
Continue for 2 miles.
actually taught, And one of the nuns was really nasty to me, dude. She was a really nasty person. Made me feel really awful every time I went to school. It was one of the first times in my life I started feeling like depression. You know what I mean? And so I acted up as a kid one day to get kicked out. And I got kicked out. It worked. I just want to go back to public school with my friends, Man, I had to go to
In
church.
2 miles, take the Wilson Boulevard exit.
I had to go to church with my grandfather that Sunday, and that nun shows up whispering to my grandfather, eyeballing me with this sideways smile on her face. Knew what she was doing, Get in the car with my grandfather, who is not the nicest human being in the world. Driving home, he's just dead ass silent. And I knew enough by this point to know that this was gonna get explosive. I was scared of him, man. I really was. And we get home. I try to go down to the room I'm staying in and just turn on cartoons. He comes right down in front of me and rips the TV out of the wall, chucks it across the damn room, and then starts chewing me out. And to be honest, I can't even remember what all he said. I was so scared of him, I blanked out. You know what I mean? Because I think I was having a panic attack, man. That's how I feel, My mom did stuff that, was pretty abusive in front of her parents. And I think with her parents, it was more just trying to keep the family together and not involve a lot of issues. But, they never said much either. My grandfather would sit me aside, and talk to me. It was nice. I was glad he cared, but I still wish somebody would have said something. A lot of times I just really wish that I had been adopted, And a lot of men that my mom got together with, they weren't good men. One in particular, I remember he lied about stuff he did in the Marine Corps. My mom was like a branch hopper with the military, always marrying different military dudes. Say they did these great things. They were these incredible type people.
In a quarter mile, take the Wilson Boulevard exit.
They turned out to be lies, man. This guy was definitely one of them. And not only was he a liar, but he was a drug addict, and he beat the crap out of my mom, dude. And then later down the road, when he finally went away after, I was terrified of him. A couple of my sisters left.
Take the Wilson Boulevard exit.
Went to their other parents, or they got adopted, I refused to see my mom anymore. And then, he got with some other woman, something happened, he went to prison.
Continue for 5 miles.
It's crazy, the child that he has with my mom, she ended up in prison too for child abuse and stuff. I guess it doesn't roll too far from the tree, And yeah, man, it's just a lot of crazy things. Then the same family member that was an attorney, as an adult, I got my first divorce from a woman who was really bad after I joined the Army and tried to do really good things with my life. She was a pillhead. She had mental health issues. her mom had mental health issues, all this kind of stuff. I actually wanted to hire another lawyer so I didn't run into issues with my family.
Continue on Wilson
And
Boulevard for 5 miles.
that family member said, nah, man, you know, I'll represent you. I'll take care of it. I haven't seen my son since he was like 8. He helped them get custody, a pillhead and some mental health cases. So, yeah, I hold a lot of resentment against that. You know, I'm a good father. I lost one of my children due to my own family. This guy's a lawyer. This is twice that he has damaged me with the law and abuse. Catch me in part 3.